Welcome to the Øredev keynote chats for 2025. I'm Frederick, and as usual, we're publishing our keynote speaker chats from the conference as short episodes. This year, we're releasing all 6 at once, Netflix season style. Also, as usual, links to each keynote and all other relevant information can be found in the show notes. They are in your podcast player right now, or at kodsnack.se, Kodsnack. First up is Tiera Fletcher, actual rocket scientist. Pretty awesome thing, if you ask me. Tiera opened the conference, and her keynote was about traveling to Mars and what kind of innovations are being made and might be made along the way. Enjoy. And I lost my page. That's awesome. Here we go. So the first thing I learned is a Moxie plus Liquify.
Yes.
Sounds like an incredible energy drink. Needs to exist, I think.
I really like that interpretation. Yeah.
It sort of comes naturally. Anyway, welcome to the smaller podcast stage.
Thank you.
And,
thank you for having me.
Yeah, and thank you for this sort of lightning tour of possibly going to Mars and what can happen along the way.
Yes, I tried to squeeze in as much as I could, but
yeah,
I had to remember the time.
Did you have to cut a lot of stuff?
Yes, I did. I had to say, okay, well, I can't do too many here. I have to balance this out.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And any favorite thing that you would have thrown in if you had 5 more minutes?
I think my favorite thing would have been talking even more about the innovations that have came out of the space program. Of course, memory foam is one that I always love to think about at night when I'm sleeping in my bed. And then as well as GPS. I use GPS all the time. So I think that throwing in more innovations, I probably would have taken up the whole entire trip. But there's just so many that have come out.
Yeah, and I was curious about that part. I mean, since you've been working within the system sort of more than most of us, do you see more stuff like that coming? Like, do you have an idea of like, oh, this is something that will filter down?
Absolutely. I find that every innovation that we come up with for another planet, it's meant to be the most efficient way to do something, whatever that may be. And so I always find it being a direct application to what we do here on Earth, because that's just a way to do it better, and it's a way to save money, it's a way to save time, cost, resources, all these different things.
Yeah, water,
exactly. And, you know, I think that all of the different innovations that are coming out of the private sector as well as the government agencies are just, there's direct application.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anything particular we should be looking forward to in the coming years?
I really honestly think that Moxie is a big one. I think that it is. I think about the more remote places that may be a little bit more deficient in resources and how to be able to regenerate water, or even, you know, when you think about medical application, how to be able to regenerate oxygen in order to support somebody who's oxygen deficient in those locations too. Yeah. So I think that that's going to be one of the top contenders that we apply in the very near future. Yeah. If not already being applied in small segments today. Yeah.
Yeah. We said that when we were watching, so Moxie was a system for generating oxygen on site, sort of. Yeah. And it was enough for a small dog for 10 hours. And we felt like, this is the kind of measurements we need more of, because it makes everything much more human.
You have to. You know, I think that comparing things to football fields and size, or whether you're comparing things to small dogs and breathing, I think that it's necessary to just put in real-life application. Instead of telling you how many, you know, like milliliters per hour. I think that you'll enjoy the dogs.
I mean, I have a small dog at home, so I can relate very, very directly to this.
Yes, I had a Chihuahua, so it just came to mind.
Yeah, so another part I thought of, if we go up toward the more vision, ideas, dreaming, where do you think we could get within our lifetimes if you dream ahead a bit?
Oh, I think that we could get to Mars in our lifetime. I do. And I think that it's been such a dream that people have had for decades, but we are closer than we have ever been before. And I really appreciate how the private sector is having such a stake in it, because, of course, when it comes to priorities for our government, they can differ, they can sway. But the private sector, they definitely focus in on what is possible and invest in it to get towards that dream no matter what it takes. So in the United States all the way to Sweden, that investment, it tends to grow in the private sector.
So in your vision case, like, say, 60 years ahead, how many people are living on Mars?
Ooh, 60 years. Okay. At that point, we should have a really good colony at that point. So I would estimate I would say about 100 to keep it conservative.
Yeah?
I would, because I'm thinking about how many trips it would take in order to get there. You have about 5 to 6 people in a space capsule at a time. You're proving out resources, making room for error. So I'm going to say about 100.
Yeah.
That's my magic number for 60 years from now.
Yeah, sounds good. And there's asterisk about not being a promise about future.
All the asterisks and assumptions and ground rules, yes.
All investments are connected to risk, stuff like that.
Yes.
So how would these people be living? Would they be living comfortably, or would it be like a very bare bones kind of settlement?
I think that at that point, they would be living comfortably because Gateway should be completed in the 30s. And so that's the modular space station that's going to be orbiting the moon. So at that point, the habitat on the moon would be established already. So all of the different hiccups and proving grounds can be ironed out, especially over the course of 10 and 20 years, no doubt.
Yeah.
And then being able to navigate to Mars and creating a similar setup in that arena as well. I think that would take a decade or so. So I think that they'll be right at the point of comfort 60 years from now because they would have proved out so many different elements on the way there. Yeah. And I think that the conservative approach of stepping on the moon first and then going to Mars is just the way to go.
Yeah.
And I think that they'll be set up well. They'll have their garden like you see on the sci-fi TV shows. And they'll have their overall space habitat set up. They'll have their families close to them. I think that it'll be really just the next stage of humanity.
Yeah. Regular work days.
Yes, regular work days, tending to the garden.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Checking on Moxie, making sure the air is good.
Yeah, have your daily Moxie. That's good stuff. So trying to connect back a bit more toward like our daily lives, my daily life as a developer, I feel like I don't have this amount of vision or ambition in my daily work, but I feel like maybe we should have. Maybe we could find more visions like this.
I always like to say that the software for the spacecraft, it is truly the brains of the entire operation.
Yeah.
Without brains, you don't know where to go, you don't know how to operate, and you definitely don't know how to last on a mission to Mars. So having the brains and applying it in different ways, even if it seems small in the grand themes of things, somebody can say that providing the coding for Moxie could seem small until they see it applied.
Yeah.
So I think that keeping your eye on the application is always important, especially when you're looking at code day in and day out. I have spent my days looking at code. And this is just in regards to coding out a website to show what the journeys to Mars could look like. It's so easy to get caught up in debugging and lose the vision of the end product. So don't lose the vision of the end product.
No, and I guess it's so easy to lose it, but I guess it's worth to keep looking for it because I think it makes things simpler in a way as well.
It does, yeah. It gives you that motivation to just remember why you're doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always helpful.
Yeah. And I'm not building space stuff right now, but
you could, though.
I could, yeah. But maybe there are improvements I can make to the stuff I do that help people along the way. I mean, I guess I save time for someone doing their job, so that frees up a bit of resources somewhere else.
It all ties back to the same end product.
Yeah, but do you think we need more visions, or do we have good visions and we're just not working toward them enough?
I think that we need to make the visions louder than the problems that we run into, the challenges that we run into. Because, someone could be sitting on this multi-million-dollar vision or the exact solution to getting to that very problem that we've been trying to solve for years. Yeah. But because it's silent, we don't all hear it. So I think that making the visions louder for ourselves and others is what we can do differently.
Yeah, louder is a good point. Because I was thinking before that, or often that, I feel like there's, at least in software, there's like one vision at a time that sort of shouts out everything else. And now everyone has to be talking about AI. You have to include AI somewhere in the corner.
I did it too.
Yeah, exactly.
I did in the presentation.
Yeah.
But I find that AI is another one of those examples of a vision that I would just say, has lied dormant for a long time.
Yeah, sure.
And now it's being spoken so much louder to investments coming from all sorts of directions. but also the opportunity and capability that it brings when it comes to just thinking about navigating terrain, but also thinking about navigating all the way to another planet, thinking about measuring all of the different human elements to figure out if the body needs this particular medication in order to react better to its environment, thinking about how it can generate the exact solution for a fix, maybe to Moxie or another system that's generating an important resource. So there's so many different applications to that one vision. But I just wonder what other visions are out there to contribute to.
Exactly. Because I can feel sometimes like AI has gone way past the peak, and then it's sort of being thrown in everywhere just because. And then sometimes I can sit down and feel tired and cynical a bit and feel like this is because we don't have a better vision. So I come back to louder, like you said.
Yeah.
People need to shout more about more interesting visions, if I'm allowed to say that.
And I think that that's the joy in it, right? Like, there's so many visions that are out there. Some of it's going to be interesting to you. Some are not, but then that same vision is going to be interesting to another.
Yeah.
But speaking loudly about it allows it to get the attention that it needs to become possible.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really glad AI wasn't a larger part of it. we need to hear the other ideas. It's good. So since what's next is the theme in general, are there other things you think are next that are exciting to you?
Space tourism. I think that space tourism is very exciting because I see the Gateway playing a big role in it, getting us all the way to the moon. And I'm not talking about the brief 10-minute, space tourism. I'm talking about flying to another planetary body. I think that there's a lot of excitement in that. There's a lot of different elements that have taken place in our solar system, and even I would just say the neighbor moon that we have right now in orbit, being able to have a closer view and even a touch for a different planetary body would just be so amazing. I think that it's an industry that can exponentially grow. And I think that it could also enhance the way that we travel commercially today. So thinking about getting to Japan in the matter of minutes excites me as well.
Yeah, that would be convenient.
That would.
Nobody likes jet lag.
No, nobody likes jet lag. I totally agree with that coming from the United States today.
But where do I go from here? What do I do differently tomorrow?
So I think that making your visions bold and committing to those visions are what you do in the near term. Longer term, drawing out what you want your vision to become in the longer term. So, of course, from a biased perspective, I would love for you to start applying your skill sets into getting us to Mars. But from a realistic perspective, I think that applying whatever wakes you up in the morning and making that bigger and stronger and bolder is what you do tomorrow.
Yeah. I mean, I do software for universities, so hopefully people there are doing space stuff and being enabled by our software. So I guess I could connect it that way.
Teaching the upcoming generation is extremely important. The ones that I was just talking about that'll be walking on Mars. It'd be great if they have a fantastic understanding of software development. I would appreciate that for one. I'm sure that others would too.
Yeah, so you do a fair bit of educating and inspiring younger people as well, right?
I do. So every summer, just thinking about the summers, I teach aerospace engineering for MIT, their outreach program, for high schooler students. Ooh. Yeah, so I teach high school upcoming seniors about aerospace engineering alongside my husband, Myron Fletcher, through Rockin' with the Fletchers. But we tutor, we teach in other platforms. We write books to teach students about different engineering disciplines called Rocketing Dreams book series. And then we also do all sorts of random things like launch Christmas trees like they're rockets on the Science Channel and things like that, Discovery Channel. So a little bit of everything in order to just teach the population about aerospace and provide that exposure, because exposure is key. If I didn't learn about aerospace back when I was 11, I would probably have a completely different career today. Being able to introduce that concept to others where it may be less familiar is super important to us.
I mean, I've been having that discussion with people every now and then, like, how many jobs did you know existed when you were 11, say? Someone needs to tell you they're out there.
Exactly. And then, of course, the jobs to come. You know, we try and shy away from talking about AI, but there is a whole new slate of job opportunities that are out there, so it's our responsibility to teach those upcoming generations about how to apply what's to come, because the job of today may not be the job of tomorrow.
No.
So having those honest conversations too are very important.
Yeah. So getting more involved in teaching kids about the jobs we do, I guess.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's nice and concrete as well. I don't need to be a rocket scientist to start doing it.
That is absolutely right. You do not need to be a rocket scientist in order to fulfill your dreams and to start doing what you want to do. Yeah. And of course, there are different flavors of rocket scientists as well. So if you want to be a rocket software engineer, you definitely can. Anything else you want to throw in at the end here? I think one more thing that I want to throw in, I talked about returning to the moon, going to Mars, all of those great elements. I just want to really stress the importance that software has in that entire journey of being able to teach and program rocketry to go to where we need it to go and to land where we need it to land. It's just so important. So I think that bringing in your respective skill sets into the space community, I just want to really stress that everyone is welcome in those spaces. All the different skill sets are welcome. The same way that we have a civilization set on Earth is the same way that we want it to be set on Mars, and even greater. So it's important that folks contribute in the ways that they can contribute in order to create something beautiful.
Yeah. I realized I had another question there, because you mentioned during the presentation exploring different paths to Mars.
Yes.
And this that you presented mainly on was one of them.
Yes.
So, wow. Were there many other paths that you found in the
So about 10 years ago when I was at MIT, I had a project in order to explore different pathways to Mars. Another one, which may seem a lot more unconventional today when I say it, is actually landing on an asteroid and then going to Mars. I know it sounds wild, like you're kind of trying to, just get a horse or something. But I think that the moon is definitely a safer bet, one. And then I also think that the curiosity that we had back then when the Artemis program was transitioning, right, from going straight to Mars to taking that pit stop on the moon first, I think that was just another stage of our curiosity in order to just try something different and new and, learn how to mitigate the consequences. Yeah. So that was one other pathway that I investigated. Yeah. And the moon was favored.
Yeah. But it's always so fun to hear about alternatives that people explored, because there are always so many more than one might think. And it's hard to come up with them as well. It's always interesting things there.
It was very interesting.
Yeah.
It was a fun time.
Yeah. Thank you so much. This was
Thank you for having me.
Big thanks for listening to Kodsnack. If you want to support us, leave a review in your podcast player of choice, or just tell someone who might like the podcast about an episode. And don't forget, you can come hang out in our Slack channel. A link is in the sidebar right on our website at kodsnack.se. Once again, big thanks for listening. Talk to you later.
Let me put it this way, Mr. Raymer. The 9000 series is the most reliable computer ever made. No 9000 computer has ever made a mistake or distorted information. We are all, by any practical definition of the words, foolproof and incapable of error.